Hello students, in this class let us try to understand on the topic of dishonor of cheque. In the modern bank management, the session on dishonor of cheque, let us try to understand today in the unit 2, myself Dr. Sreenivasaiah, Department of Collegiate Education, Government of Karnataka. What is the meaning of dishonor of cheque? Here, dishonored cheque can be defined a cheque which a bank refuses to pay cash when they present it for a payment. Here, if somebody gives you a cheque, so that cheque you are presenting in the bank account by crossing the cheque. So they are presenting the same cheque to the where money to be drawn, so that if the bank refuses, which means the pay cash, that is said to be dishonored cheque. Why this dishonored cheque is going to take place by the bank? So that important reasons, let us try to understand. The important reasons for dishonoring cheque. First one, insufficient funds. When you have presented a cheque, you are going to present the cheque into your account. Your banker is going to present the same where the cheque is being issued. The cheque issued bank is not having sufficient fund in that respective person's account, and that is the case. They will state the reason saying that insufficient fund, which means the account holder is not having insufficient fund. That is the reason they are quoting it and they are returning it back. That is called insufficient fund reason. At the same time, second reason, the death of the account holder. In case of after issue of a cheque, if the account holder dies, under that circumstances also there is a possibility to stop the payment on the result of death of account holder. Next, as a third reason, the signature is absent, or signature in the cheque does not match with this specimen signature kept by the banker. Here, when you present a cheque, the same cheque will be deposited to the where the cheque is being issued with the bank. So that bank is maintain a account holder's cheque. Account holder specimen signature. That specimen signature has to be tallied when for the payment of the cheque. That is the case when specimen signature is not tallied of that respective account holder. So that is the case also. Under that circumstances also there is a possibility to dishonor the cheque by the banker. Next, bankrupt. This also one of the important reason where if a bank is being bankrupt, there is no sufficient money to pay to its account holder. Under that circumstances also the cheque can be dishonored. Example, now at present Lakshmi Vilas Bank, Reserve Bank of India stopped the put certain restrictions on Lakshmi Vilas Bank. Under that circumstances, so payment can be stopped by a banker since bankers are not having enough liquidity in this regard. Next, frozen account. The frozen account means some account are being closed due to the various reason, due to their personal reason. After closing the account, if somebody issues a cheque to somebody else, if the same cheque is being presented for the cash, under that circumstances also there is a possibility of dishonoring the cheque. When there is a alteration, when you have been issued a check to somebody else, alteration is there. For this alteration, there is no signature is being made. Under that circumstances also, there is a possibility of dishonoring the check. The court of law has given an order to the bank to stop the payment. Under various circumstances, court may issue an order saying that stop the payment for this check. Under that circumstance also, the check can be bounced back in the name of dishonoring it. Further, post-dated check. Example, so that is tomorrow. The check dated is being mentioned as tomorrow date, but when you have presented today itself, then obviously that is going to be a post-dated check. This post-dated check is going to be dishonored by a banker. Next, a stale check. A stale check means outdated check. Outdated check means like now at present 3 months validity for a check. For example, if that check is being signed and it has been dated for the more than 3 months, obviously it is going to be a stale check. So this check is going to be dishonored by a banker. If the amount is written in the word is different from the amount is written in figure, when you are writing on the check, the amount in words and amount in figures, if it is not tallied, under that circumstances also, check will be dishonored. When payment is stopped means a drawee itself, I can stop the payment. So therefore, under that circumstances also, the check issue person, when he stopped the payment, under that circumstance also, check is going to be dishonored. Next, a closed account. Obviously, if account is being closed by an account holder, after closing that account, if he or she issues a check, obviously that is going to be a dishonor. If the name of the payee is absent or not clearly written, if they say in the check, obviously we are going to write the name. When we are writing the name is not written properly. And clearly if it is not written, under that circumstance also, they are quoting the reason saying that, the reason saying that name is not found. Like that, they are going to dishonor the check. At the same time, and last important reason, that is stolen or a damaged checks. Many of the reason, so that is sometimes the checks are expected to be a damage. Okay, if these damaged checks are being presented in the bank, obviously that will not be a given money. So under that circumstances, this check is also going to be dishonor. With all these reasons, there is a check will be dishonored. See, when we recap the same, the dishonoring of check means when the payment is not paid by the banker when we deposited the check. So why payment is not being paid by a banker? The reason there is insufficient of fund, there is a mismatch of name, and there is no specimen signature is being tallied, and the torrent check and amount in words and amount in figures are not being tallied. With all these reasons, the check will be dishonored. To conclude, according to the section 138 of the Act, the dishonor of check is a criminal offense and it is punishable by imprisonment up to the 2 years with a monetary penalty with both. Here remember, when check is being bounced back, the person who issues the check, he will be under punishable for the 2 years with the monetary penalty, even under some circumstances for both. So therefore, if payee decides to proceed legally, then the drawer should be given a chance of repaying the check amount immediately. So therefore, we can say that when we are going to issue check to somebody else, we will have to be careful about it. So therefore, when there is a sufficient money in our account only, we have to issue checks. Otherwise, it is very difficult for us when we may face the legality matters. So therefore, it is very important to note that. So that is dishonoring of check. It is very, very, very important thing in the banking industry nowadays. That is insufficient of fund. It is maximum number of cases is going to take place. So therefore, before issuing check, we will have to see to it 10 times. So that is, there is a sufficient funds are there in our account. Thank you. Please do well by understanding it.